I'm so sorry. We were gabbing. I apologize. Okay. I know. Illinois Amish Heritage Center. I got to get that in the right order. Okay. All righty. You ready? All right. We'll do this in 3, 2, 1. Well, today we are at the Illinois Amish Heritage Center, and I couldn't be happier to be joined by Jim Fleming today. How are you?
Well, I'm doing just fine.
Well,
doing just fine.
Thanks
Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to be here on this spot because we came out for that barn raising.
Yes.
It's behind us now looking beautiful, but this whole space is so wonderful. Briefly, could you tell folks what they see when they come here?
Well, what they see when they come here is a history of the Amish in the Arthur area. Okay, the Amish came to this community in 1865. They came from Pennsylvania. They actually went to Shelbyville, Illinois first. And somebody told them, well, there's better land in Arthur. So they walked up here, which is about 30 miles. They came up the railroad, walked here, and then they established their community here. So you see 2 of the oldest homes that was built at that time. We have the Mose Yoder house, which you can see here. We also have the Daniel Schrock home. The Daniel Schrock home has been excellent in restoration. It's a beautiful facility. What you'll see in there are authentic furnishings, many of those that were in that house at that time.
Right.
It tells the story. The Mose Yoder home is in process of being restored. But the interesting thing about the Mose Yoder home is that it has had so many different paint schemes, and a lot of those have been uncovered. And so what we're learning is that the paint tells the story, because the folks that did it, they're gone. There's none of those people left.
Sure.
So you can tell how they remodeled, how they moved walls, how they've redone things, and the paint tells the story. And that's what really is fascinating to me, is when you begin to think about, well, what were they thinking, and the colors that they chose and what they had access to.
Sure.
So we have those 2 homes. We also have a workshop that went with the Yoder farm, and it's in its early stages of restoration, early stages. We have a German school. Now the Amish, after they would go to the 8th grade, they would go to what they call German school for a few years. And the Amish technically don't really speak German. If you bring someone from Germany here, they can't communicate. They really can't. But they call it German school. And so they would teach them the German language. They would teach them how to write, how to do various things in the German language. So we have that school, and it's about as authentic as it can be. I mean, a lot of the desks are there, the chalkboards are there. A lot of the folks that come and go through it, they're like, well, I've sat right here. And so we moved that in. But I think one of the things that we're the most proud of is the Miller Hirschberger barn that you saw when you were here a year ago, and it looks a lot different today.
Yeah.
That was one of the oldest barns in this community. The Miller family and the Hirschberger family wanted it to be here because it had really fallen into disarray.
Yeah.
And so it's been a labor of love. It's not quite done yet, but it's getting close.
So we've got people that'll see this and want to come out and enjoy some of the things that you have. What are some of the upcoming events they can enjoy?
Well, our next big event here will be the first weekend in October. It's called Harvest to Home. Now we do 2 big events here. In the odd year, which would be 23, we do Harvest to Home in the fall. In the even year, we do Steam Thrashing Days, and those are held in August. So we've kind of done that for a while for manpower's sake and different things. There'll come a time when we do them
Both.
Annually. But Harvest to Home will feature, we'll be harvesting corn. We have about 14 acres of corn here. We also have sorghum here. We're going to be cooking that, making it into molasses. We also have broom corn here, and we'll be making that into brooms. And then we'll be shelling corn, we'll be picking it in the year. We have a check row plot out there, which is how corn used to be planted. What they did is they would run a cable, and then on that cable were little knots, and then it would trip the planter and it would drop 3 or 4 seeds, and it would go every so many inches and it would drop. And so we have that here. And when you look at the check row plot, no matter how you look at it, it's kind of like looking at Arlington National Cemetery. Everything is in a perfect row. So we're going to be harvesting that by hand.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we're going to let people come and try their hand at that. Also during that time, we'll be doing sawmilling. We'll be making shingles. We will, as I mentioned, cooking sorghum, apple butter. We're going to make apple butter. And then tours of the buildings here.
Sure.
And then each day we do what's called a parade of power. And the parade of power is whether it's horses or old tractors or old cars, they parade around the grounds, and when they get up to a certain point, we tell people what they are and who's driving them and that kind of thing.
Sounds like a great lesson to me that can be gained.
Everything here is about learning.
Yeah. Well, where can people go if they want to learn more about your space?
Well, we do have a Facebook page. I believe it's illinoisamish.org. But our Facebook's probably the best place.
Okay.
Because Facebook is instant.
Yeah.
And so we have a Facebook page. You can find it by putting in Illinois Amish. We have the website, and through programs like this is where we get a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate you coming over and doing
Well, thanks
this.
for your time today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
So
it, Jim,
nice.
very
Thank
much.
you.
We are here at the Illinois Amish Heritage Center, a place you should definitely visit when you come to Amish country.
Good.